the Earth unleashed a fever to fight this infection. Its original and rightful rulers, the Titans.
Hi everyone, Vegas Film Critic here, Jeff Ricky Howard, here to review Godzilla, King of the Monsters, starring Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, Millie Bobby Brown, and directed by Michael Dougherty. This is, of course, the king of all Godzilla movies. We just don't have Godzilla. We have a whole host of monsters from the Toho collection. But they call them Titans this time. They don't call them monsters. And I'm so excited about this movie for the longest time because I have been a Godzilla fan since I was a little kid. In the early 70s, I saw all of his films. Like Godzilla's a real person. But for Godzilla vs. Sea Monster, Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, Mecha Godzilla, King Kong Escapes, I mean, all of those Toho films, I just loved them. Even had a club when I was in middle school and elementary school. We had clubs, Godzilla clubs. And we had my famous Monsters of Filmland, one of my favorite issues, which was like 100 pages long, that had everything about Godzilla and all its monsters in it. And I still have it to this day. So when I heard they were doing another Godzilla film, but this time with all the monsters, I am super excited. So there's a company called Monarch that's been monitoring all the different monsters, all the different Titans all over the world. And it seems there's a lot of them. And it seems like Godzilla is kind of like the bouncer of the club who kind of controls and regulates everything at a certain time in history, thousands, maybe millions of years ago, when these monsters, these Titans ruled the earth. And now they're all sleeping. Okay, so just let them lie. But of course, Vera Farmiga, she is a scientist who has a plan that she thinks that's going to save the Earth because these monsters are terrorizing the Earth. It's almost like Pacific Rim. So I'm watching this, I'm thinking, it's like Pacific Rim. These kaiju like that, instead of having giant robots, we use Godzilla as our giant robot. And Millie Bobby Brown is going through a divorce with Kyle Chandler and with Vera. And she's got emotional problems, definitely. And now she is kind of split between the two. Like which parent, I don't know if she likes one parent or the other parent better. It's not very clear on that. But she ends up staying with her mother, who instead of kind of like being a little badass, yeah, she's just kind of a whiny little character. You know, I expected a lot more for her. I wanted her a little more stronger and maybe taking things into her own hands, maybe taking some chances, but she doesn't do that. And the movie kind of plays it safe when it comes to the human beings, when it comes to the human characters. While the monsters fight, I should call them Titans, right? While the Titans fight, the scenes are spectacular. It's really great special effects. That's without question. And we see King Ghidorah. I know, it's Ghidorah. When I was a kid, everyone said Ghidorah. I'm not changing. That we find out is really an alien. Of course, if you know Monster Zero, if you know the whole history of Toho, is that character isn't from our time, it's from another planet sent by aliens to destroy Godzilla and destroy the Earth. So all of the Titans have to rise to fight King Ghidorah, Monster Zero, and defend the Earth. And the special effects are incredible. I mean, you just watch some of the scale of some of these effects. You really think you're watching it. You really think this stuff is happening. So overall, I was kind of disappointed with there was nothing supporting all of the monster segments. You know, again, you can't just have a Transformers movie. You can't have just wall-to-wall action without having some sort of story underneath it. So the story was the Monarch Corporation trying to resurrect all the Titans to defend the Earth. It was just really corny dialogue. It just didn't have a strong enough story for me, you know. And Michael Dougherty's direction was really good, but I just didn't care for the human story that was going on. Anytime the monsters were fighting, you're like, okay, this is pretty cool. And sometimes it got to be kind of overwhelming, but the effects were amazing. So, but overall, I was disappointed in this Godzilla. Now, I probably could watch it another 3 or 4 times and change my mind, because I remember the Gareth Edwards one that came out in 2014. I didn't like it at all. After seeing it 6 or 7 times on HBO and on DVD, I really warmed up to it. I understood what he was doing. And also, I'm a huge King Kong fan. So, you know, Skull Island that came out a few years ago, oh, it was so fantastic. And they're just, you know, leading this all up to a King Kong versus Godzilla, which, of course, you know, the original, you know, Japan audiences got Godzilla 1 and American audiences King Kong 1. So, and there's also an Easter egg supposedly hinting about that next film encounter at the end of Godzilla King of Monsters. So check that out. Make sure you stay through the credits. Overall, I just kind of mixed on Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Again, special effects are great. I was just kind of bored with a lot of the story. And but a lot of people say, hey, I'm there to see the monsters fight it out. They do that. So if that's what you're going for, you're going to be extremely happy. I just want a little bit more story, not so campy, you know, a little more seriousness to it. But I didn't get that. But I did get some really cool Titans battling it out on the Earth's surface. It was really cool. It really was. All right, for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website, vegasfilmcritic.com. Also, check me out on social media, Facebook, Instagram. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you give me a thumbs up, comment below what you think of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm Jeffrey K. Howard in Las Vegas. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.